Golden Gopher, right?
Yes, sir.
And current graduate manager of the basketball team. And he's got a lot of things going on in his life, so we're going to get him up here, and I'll ask him a few questions, and he can talk all he wants until he has to go. So you ask him a lot of questions because there's a lot of things going on in his life, as you probably know. And let's give him a warm welcome. Welcome, Andre.
Thank you, Jim. First off, I'd like to thank you guys for having me here, and thank you for all you do for the program, for the university. That really means a lot. You know, when I always come back here, I always feel the love and support that you guys give as far as when I come back to Williams Arena or even just in Minneapolis in general. I feel the love, so I really thank you for welcoming in a kid from Memphis, Tennessee. That's kind of been the reason why I've come back here, because a lot of this feels like family. That's a very important part of how I was brought up. So I thank you guys for creating an environment where I want to come back and be a part of the program, be a part of the team. So hats off to you.
So Andre, you played for two coaches here at the U, Tubby and Richard Patino. So can you tell us, you've got a lot, your journey started in Memphis, as you mentioned, and you got recruited by Tubby. Can you tell us a little bit about your recruitment and how that went, and if you had any special Tubby stories when he was recruiting you or while your playing days?
Yeah, so coming into my recruitment, I kind of knew that I wanted to decide early. Going into my senior year so I could be able to focus. So I really put a lot of weight on the coaches and who were reaching out to me while I was playing early on, showed that interest and came and talked to my family, came to a lot of my games. And Coach Smith was one of those players, one of those coaches who came to Memphis, as well as Coach Esposito, Coach Jersa. All of them created a relationship with my parents, first and foremost, and I took that, that's why I chose Minnesota over Stanford and Harvard, just the opportunity to come to Carlson and also play in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is unmatched in a lot of the conferences. You get to play against pros night in, night out. We see, all types of people come through here, so it was a great opportunity for me, and Coach Smith, he was a great coach, so I love him, and congrats to him on an amazing career. I think he just announced his retirement, so he's one of the reasons I'm here. Yeah.
Great, and you played 1 year for Richard Patino? 2 years for Richard Patino. You have any Patino stories you want to tell us that you can? He's not here anymore, so
he's
you
not
can
here.
I
I guess the biggest part was Coach Patino coming in. He was a feisty cat when he came in and established himself early. And the best memory I have is us winning the NIT championship. I got hurt that year, so that was kind of a difficult year mentally for me. But I think the mindset that he brought kind of propelled us to keep going, and we did well. We ended up winning, so that's one of my fondest memories.
Most of you have been following Andre for a long time, and one of the most painful injuries I ever saw on a court, I think, when you hurt your ankle. And which game was that?
I heard it against Wisconsin, in the first 30 seconds, literally 16 seconds. Went up, hit the shot, came down on Josh Gasser's foot, and I suffered a grade 3 ankle sprain.
Yeah, it looked painful when you came off that court. And really. So I finished up, graduated from the U, and then what'd you do after that?
Yeah. So after graduation, I started my professional career in Europe. I started in Belgium. Then my next year I was in France, and I played a month in Germany that same second year. In my third year I played in Hungary, and then my fourth year I bounced around a lot. I started in Lithuania. I was there for about a month, and then went to Finland and Helsinki for a couple of weeks, and then that same first half of the season, I went to Sweden and actually played with DeAndre Matthew, who you guys know. I played with him for about a month in Sweden, and then I was tired of bouncing around, and I decided to stop for a while and come back home and reevaluate.
So when you came home, did you meet anybody that you kind of liked? Was that before you left overseas?
So as you all know, my now fiance Rachel Bannon, we've been together since I think our sophomore season, 2012, 2013. I guess is officially when we started dating. So we've been with each other a long time.
So you came back and you entered grad school here at the U, and what's your major?
So I'm getting my MBA with an emphasis in finance right now. I'm in the full-time program as well as being the graduate assistant here. So I'm time poor, as I like to say. Not a lot of time, but I'm having a blast doing it both. Learning a lot about business. Getting myself grounded in the business mindset, and as well as kind of being a resource to these student athletes.
So absence made the heart grow fonder. When you got over there, that you lasted that, made it through all the distance and time and travel for a few years, and you came back. And then tell us a little bit the setup for your asking her to marry you.
Funny story. So I initially meant to propose I think the weekend that we beat Michigan, which was actually my birthday. I wanted to propose on the 10th, so December the 10th. So I had it set up where Rachel thought that I would be with the team, but I had a condensed class, so all-day class on Saturday that I had to attend. So she was gonna think that I was in Michigan with the team, and then I had her people with the links. I spoke with them and had them set up an interview with her. Since the Final Four is going to be here this year, the women's Final Four, and I had it all set up. And the week before that Monday, she got a black eye, and then the day before, so that Thursday, she ended up getting the COVID booster shot. So she was feeling crappy. So she texts her Link's PR person and said she wasn't going to do it Friday, so that put a damper in my plans. So the next day, I'm scrambling to try to find a videographer, a photographer, try to get all the people that was helping me with the proposal, trying to get them aligned that Saturday while I was in class. So it ended up not happening. So I ended up, pushing it back, and went through the same thing. She thought she was going through an interview, and I had her friends help me with it, and it ended up being a great surprise and a special moment in Williams Arena.
Oh, good. Congratulations. She said yes, so that's good. That's always a good thing. So if anyone wants any dating tips or anything like that, for I'm sure Trey here, he can handle it. Give you some help. So you played. So now you're graduate manager, and tell us a little bit about what your duties are there. I mean, I asked you earlier if you were the boss, pretty much, and told everybody what to do, but you said no. But tell us what it all involves.
So now it's my role is more as being, like I said earlier, a resource and a sounding board for these players right now. I'm primarily on the scout team, so I play the other players, point guard or shooting guard, and really help with getting the team prepared for the games. That's as far as my role goes right now, but it's a lot of other duties, just making sure guys are accountable, making sure they're on time, just giving them advice, because I was once in their position, and yeah, like I said, just kind of being a resource to them and helping them through this process.
So tell us some of your thoughts about this year's team. You've been with them all year, and tell us a little bit what your thoughts are and strengths and where we need to work on and what's been happening. It's been a crazy year.
Yeah. First, it's been an absolute joy to be around this team. They're a great group of individuals, a group of people. Being able to put together a great team, a great program that's built around a solid culture. And I think you guys have seen that in how they play. There's no egos on the team. The guys fight and play hard. You know, I mean, you could say that, you know, we're not the most talented, but I think we really compete and they're bought in. And I think that's been a breath of fresh air for me to see that within the team. You know, even though we're going through kind of this you know, rough drought with injuries and sickness, and we're incurring some losses. I think that the attitude is not like a dull place. You know, you come in and, you know, all the guys' heads are down. You know, they're still smiling and they're still thinking forward, thinking about what they can do to get better and staying positive. I think that's the biggest thing, and they're staying together. So, you know, the camaraderie and the unity that they have kind of formed and developed throughout this time has been great.
Well, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to hand the mic over to Andre and let you guys fire questions at him, because I'm sure that y'all have some. So, and we've got time. We've got a few more minutes. So I'll turn it over to Andre and ask him some questions.
Questions? Yes.
A, how's the knee? And part B to that, so you're out there playing with these kids. Can you honestly keep up with yourself?
It was my Achilles. I tore my Achilles last year, but it's fully healed now, and I'm doing well. I'm able to compete with them and keep up. We don't go. I'm not sure if I can keep up and down going 4-4, 5-on-5, but half court I can hold my own.
Can you tell me about, is it a recruitment process for these various teams in Europe, or how do you get associated with any particular team?
So the biggest thing is finding the right agent, and that goes from, you know, when I was a sophomore, you know, agents would contact me through various social media like Facebook and Instagram, and they try to, you know, recruit you in that way. And basically, these agents have relationships with the teams overseas. You know, they have direct contacts, and, you know, I mean, it's up to your agent to really market you in the place where they think you'd be the best. So I mean, it's honestly a lot of strategy involved, but it mostly starts with your agent. Sometimes some guys don't even have an agent, and they have connections to teams right away. So.
Did you have time to do tourist stuff when you went to Europe? I mean, you saw so many really cool places.
I got a little bit of time to go touring a little bit. Not as much as you would think, because over there you do 2-a-days in the morning, have practice in the morning, practice in the evening time. So you only get maybe 1 or 2 days off. A few times in the season you might have like 3 or 4 where you can really go out and stay somewhere and see other places. But I saw a lot.
What would you go back to?
What I go back
Just
to?
if you had time to spend more time on your honeymoon, maybe.
I would say I would go back to. This is tough. I would go back to Paris, but not on a tourist type path. I want to go with someone who's a local there and see like Paris from like a local standpoint. I think a lot of places like that, there, Rome, because that's the only thing we have to go off of, really. So yeah.
How is Isaiah Eamon progressing, and will we see both him and Parker Fox next year?
Oh, they're progressing well. I think Parker's over 7 months, 7 or 8 months now. I think Isaiah is at 5 or 6, so they're progressing really well. Parker's actually dunking. He's been dunking the past 2 months, so he's doing well. He's an incredible athlete. You know, they're both working hard every day. You know, during practice, they're doing their rehabilitation regimen over on the sideline. So, you know, they're locked in and ready for next year.
Those have 2 years left?
I believe so. I believe so, yeah. I know Isaiah does for sure. I think Parker does as well.
The COVID years.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about recruitment for next year? Is that already in play?
I know we have some good talent coming in next year. I know Ben has put emphasis on recruiting locally and bridging that gap between the players here and try to keep them home. So it's I think that's the biggest emphasis for him is to keep everyone in this family, in this Minnesota family, and build off that.
You gonna give us any sneak peeks?
No sneak peeks. No sneak peeks.
What are the rules about that? Are you guys allowed to recruit all year long to the high school and other colleges?
There are certain rules along that. I don't know the specifics, but there are certain rules that you have to follow where there's a no contact period. There's certain times where it starts where the coaches can travel and go and see the games and whatnot. And that landscape has changed even since I've been done, since the time I played. So, that's kind of a gray area where I don't know all of the details around it.
Last question, are you gonna give Trayton Thompson more than 5 minutes of playtime today?
Oh, that's not my decision, sir.
We're gonna see the coach in about an hour. He's got a good attitude.
Can you tell us anything about Northwestern that we might want to know going into this game?
They're playing well. They're playing really well. It's more about us at this point. I think you guys know that we're down Peyton, and EC has a bug. He's feeling really bad right now. So it's more about us at this point. When you get to this deep into the season, it's more about you focusing on what you do well, and obviously preparing for them. But right now, for this game, it's more about us.
To lighten it up a little bit, Andre, can you tell the group a little bit about Rachel's father, what he looked like when he was a young man? Did that deter you and close it all?
No, at first I was a little intimidated to know that he was a police officer, and I think he was a chief at one point. He has a kind of a stoic look on his face. He doesn't really smile a whole ton. So I didn't get many smiles when I first met him. Well, once he met me, and I was able to be around him. We have a really good relationship. Him and his wife, they live in Garrison, Minnesota now, on Lake Mille Lacs. So we go up there and see them on the holidays. So it's been great to go up there and spend time with them in their retirement. So.
I was just kidding. He was my mentor when I was a young kid.
Yeah. Was I right about the stoic look?
Yeah.
Well, good. Let's give it up for Andre Hollins. Thank you.